This is part 1 of Module 3 in the series of Vista Imaging Clinical Capture training modules, and it will cover the configuration settings bar options and configuration buttons. It is suggested that the modules initially be viewed in order to become familiar with the options necessary to perform document scanning and image captures. I have already logged into the Clinical Capture application as seen here. Near the top of the Vista Imaging Clinical Capture window, under the menu options, is the Configuration Settings bar. This toolbar allows the selection of individual configuration settings for an image capture. The available options are Source, Format, Association, Saving, Mode, and Other. Texts displayed in bold blue font are the current configuration settings. These are the items which were set as defaults in the workstation configuration as discussed in Module 2. Directly below this is the Configuration Buttons toolbar, which contains user-defined buttons or configurations associated with frequently used capture settings. Clicking the word Source or the word Format on the left of the Configuration Settings bar will open the Imaging Workstation configuration window. There are 3 tabs at the top left of the window: Source/Format, Association/Mode, and Legacy. The Source Format tab contains the most commonly used sources and formats such as import, Twain device, the available format choices, and the Images Saved As option. The Association Mode tab in the Imaging Workstation configuration window will display the image association choices available on the workstation. Clicking the word Association from the Configuration Settings bar will also display these options. On the left of the screen are the Vista packages which can be selected. The right side of the screen displays the patient-only associations, which are self-explanatory. The Legacy tab of the Imaging Workstation configuration window contains formats that are rarely used. I would suggest disabling all sources and formats on this tab, with the exception of 256 color, through the Workstation Configuration Editor, as discussed in Module 2. If there is a modality actively using a Meteor/Orion board for image captures, it would also need to be enabled. If any changes are made to the settings, click the OK button at the bottom left of the window. At the right center of the Configuration Settings bar is the Saving menu option, which allows images to be saved as a study group or as a single image. To the right of that is the Mode menu option labeled Online, which allows captured images to be saved to Vista. Test Mode enables testing a device but not saving images to Vista. I would strongly suggest that this setting never be changed. At the far right is the Other menu option, and it should never be changed. It should be noted that when saving scanned documents as PDF files, the Other option will automatically display Save as PDF. Below the Configuration Settings bar is the Configuration Buttons toolbar. If configuration buttons are present, clicking a button will populate the index fields in the capture window associated with the type of image being captured. Configuration buttons may differ from one workstation to another, and they are commonly named for particular documents or types of documents. They are used to streamline and provide consistency in the image capture process, especially for captures frequently performed on the workstation. I am going to use the default settings on the Configuration Settings bar, displayed in bold blue font, to create a configuration button for an advanced directive document. Since this is a document that will be scanned with some frequency, I will create a new progress note to be saved with the configuration button settings, However, that is an optional step. I will click the Select Patient button at the top left of the screen and select a patient in the usual manner. Next, I will click the Select Progress Note button below the patient's name at the top left of the screen. The Progress Notes window will open, and I will click the Create New Note tab at the top left of the window. The Author field is automatically populated with the name of the user logged in. The Visit field is set to Cardiology on this machine by default, but that can be modified as necessary for each machine. The New Note status box shows 3 choices. However, the Electronically Filed option is only viewable if the user has the MAG Note e-file security key. This allows the user to electronically file notes without entering an electronic signature code for every capture. It is meant to save the scanning staff some keystrokes in the capture process, and the progress note will display as being electronically signed in the electronic medical record. I will click the Electronically Filed radio button. At the top center of the window is the Progress Note title field, and the existing note titles are displayed below it. For this example, I will select Advanced Directive from the list and click the OK button at the center of the screen. The note title and the note status location fields are now populated. Since I am only creating a configuration button, I will not fill in the date fields, and I will leave the origin field with the default of VA. In the document image type field, I will click the drop-down arrow at the right of the box and select Advanced Directive from the list of choices. Because it is an advanced directive, the specialty and procedure event index fields do not need to be populated. To save these settings to a configuration button, I will click the Configurations menu at the top left of the window and click Save Configuration from the choices. The Save Configuration pop-up window will be displayed, and I will type ADV DIR in the box, which will be the name displayed on the button, and then click OK. The button has been added to the Configuration Buttons toolbar at the far right of the row of existing buttons. To scan an advanced directive document in the future, I would click the Select Patient button and select a patient, and then click the ADV DIR button, fill in the date fields, and scan the document in the usual manner. Another way to create a configuration button is to make changes starting from the Configuration Settings bar. For this example, I will create a new configuration button for importing photos for dermatology. I will click the word Source at the top left of the Configuration Settings bar, and on the Source tab at the top left of the Imaging Workstation configuration window, I will select the Import Radio button under Source on the left. For this example, I'll leave the Images Saved As option at the bottom center of the window set to Single Image, and I'll click the OK button at the bottom left. This time, I won't create a progress note as part of the button settings, so I'll populate the index fields. I'll leave the origin as VA. I'll select Image from the Document Image Type drop-down choices. I'll click Dermatology from the Specialty drop-down choices, and I'll click Photography from the Procedure Event drop-down choices. Next, I'll click the Configurations menu option at the top left of the window and click Save Configuration from the choices. The Save Configuration pop-up window will be displayed, and I will type DERM in the box, which will be the name displayed on the button, and then click OK. In order to make more buttons fit on the Configuration Buttons toolbar, it is suggested that the button names be short but descriptive enough to know what they are used for. This is the end of Part 1 of Module 3.